this for me. Probably what I'm doing. Every day in the studio. Every day in the studio. Every day no fully shit. In the streets with the Yeezys on. In the streets with the hoodie up.
Hey, no. Games. It is the Portland's #1 podcast and TV show. Back at it again.
Yes.
And we have a very special, he's not even a guest, he's just a member. But before we get into it, one thing I do know is y'all motherfuckers didn't hit that subscribe button. Y'all haven't hit the fucking follow button. You want to know why? Because we only have 30 subscribers, and that's a goddamn shame. Our last video got 19 views. And I know it's not all from our subscribers. So, if you are now clicking onto this, whether you're on the audio version or you're on the YouTube, fucking smash the like button, comment, subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. It helps. It really does. From us content creators, it only takes 5 seconds. That's all we ask in 5 seconds. I'm trying to eat. Look what I did. I bought all these things for you. Now it's time for you to help us.
Quick question: where can they find you on YouTube?
Oh my gosh. Well, you can find this on YouTube with the Play No Games podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's easy. It's not for Chris Brown and Big Sean movie. I'm gassing, but that's pretty much our intro for the most part. But
And if we hit 100 subscribers, I'm sure Robert will give something away.
Yeah, I'll get naked.
There you go.
There you go. But also, I want to do another shameless plug that I appreciate. I'm not gonna say guest right now, but our lovely guest / member just said, yeah, you find us on the YouTube channel Play No Games, but you also find us on Instagram. Don't get confused. We're Look Here Matching, but some of our clips live on the Look Here Matching page. So please follow us on Look Here Matchmaking or lookhere.fri. Lookhere.fri. There we go. Woo, the assist on Instagram. And then you can definitely find us on there. And then we're on Spotify, Anchor, and then iTunes. And then last but not least, we have these fun buttons that we're not going to push. We can't listen to the funny clips and sound bites that I have until you now put this in your cash app, $Hero Rob. The more you donate to me, the more fun we can have with the podcast. I've got some funny sound bites like green beans, tomatoes, ham, lamb, all that stuff, but we can't listen to it until we use some headphones. So, with that being said, if you haven't, hit my cash app, $Hero Rob, and donate to the cause. Trust me, you're not gonna help me pay my bills. I'm gonna put all the money back into the show, and I'll pay costs for once. So,
Please,
so
someone help!
Exactly. Look at him. Look, he cut his hair because
I have to sell my hair.
He sold his hair for this.
Yeah.
But without further ado, he's not a guest, and I just disrespected this guy. He once again, JayMac. They know him on the streets of JayMac. Mac is back on the new and improved Play No Game show. How you doing? And this is why I would click the clapping, but you can't. Anywho.
Welcome to Macky's World.
Whoa!
This is Jamal from the Macky's World podcast. We out here. It's been a while since I've been on the show, honestly, so thanks for having me back on. I appreciate it. I'm excited to dive into these topics. I know you got something for me. And since we're doing shameless plugs, Macky's World on Instagram. I'm currently not on YouTube at the moment, but feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. Macky's World on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So yeah, we live.
Love the plug. I don't think our guests heard it, and maybe someone clicked the sound button, and they didn't hear that, and I don't have the editing.
They didn't hear anything?
They're going to hear the jingle over that, and I don't have the capabilities to do that. So could you let people know where they can find you again?
Okay, let's start over, because I don't even know.
My apologies. Robert put me in control of this, but I can't put it anywhere, so I apologize.
Last time I was on here, I mentioned my manager was going to talk about the work conditions.
It's a little hot here, I'll admit.
Management needs to redo my contract. while you're paying costs, pay me for my pain and suffering. Welcome to Macky's World. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. You can find Macky's World on Instagram, Macky's Period World. I'm currently not on YouTube, but Macky's World on Instagram, I am somewhat active. I will post videos almost every other day. Jamal from Macky's World here with Playing on Games podcast, and right now they are playing games. So this is fitting.
That's actually quite funny. And another, I know we said we're the greatest podcast show.
Second.
Whoa, I was really going to say 1A and 1A. Well, since we do it, I'm not going to do that because, we got some things in the future. So I'm going to let you have that one. I just want to say, excellent, great podcast. I'll just let y'all know that he's had hell of a couple guests. He had Tunde on. One thing, I need to finish that one in his latest episode too as well. So if you guys have not stepped in to Macky's World, he's dropping the gospel. He's dropping that good stuff. And the reason why I love him because his world is nothing like anyone else's. So with that being said, welcome to the new version of Play No Games podcast. And I was going to tell everybody to wear jerseys, but I got lazy. But we'll start with the NBA.
Well, first off, I think Jamal and I can agree, fuck you, Robert. Because he's booked this time while the Blazers are playing Game 6 right now.
Yeah, when I realized that the Blazers were playing Game 6, I was like, should I flake on him or should I continue to be a good friend and come in? You are so lucky we are friends because I would have said I'm not coming if I would have known.
Yeah, I texted him before. I was like, are we still filming today? Like 2 hours before this. And I told him, come on, man. Don't be surprised if Jamal doesn't show up.
I wish we had a TV just right here so we can get some live reactions. That would have been dope.
If you can pull the stream on your laptop.
I'm working on it. I'm talking to human resources.
Please cash out this man so we can get a TV while we're recording.
$sign Hero Rock. It will be in the description. Actually, the funny thing about it is I'm glad that both of you, one brought that up, and two, just thinking. I just want to say thank you for coming through. I wasn't even thinking because I'm just in such a content okay, Thursday's free, let's just do this. Because at the end of the day, the reason I want to say thank you to both of you guys is because y'all know that, Lillard and Jokic ain't watching us right now. Right now. And y'all put working on some content where we can, all win and eat together over, watching the Blazers. So, that just lets me know the testament that y'all are hungry and y'all are working because this was, it's an opportunity. So I just want to say, that's dope. So I'm just saying, I respect you. I respect all of you guys. Thanks. And so here, what happens if the Blazers don't win? Are we gonna riot the streets?
For the sake of content, let's go ahead and talk about something else.
Okay, listen. We were just talking.
I don't want to talk about Blazers losing. I don't want that or around yet.
Since we're on the topic of the Blazers, we don't have to mention losing. But who do you think head coach next year? It's not going to be Terry Stotts.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's way too hard to tell who's going to be a head coach. Mm-hmm. I think player acquisition is going to be more important. Now, I guess since we're talking about playoffs, I'm going to say if Portland can't get past the first round and the second round and make it to the West Finals, I think Stotts is going to be gone. He might be gone regardless, which I'm not upset with because I think that we may have ran this course. But to me, what's more important is CJ being traded. Not because CJ's a bad player. It's not because CJ can't perform. I think that's inaccurate, whoever thinks that. He had one bad game 5. The other games he's balling.
He saved us last year.
Yeah, he did. But it's more of the tandem of Lillard and CJ playing together. I do think they have ran their course. Yeah. I think, honestly, 2 to 3 years ago, he probably should have made a trade. Yeah. Maybe even last year. But I like to see a Brad Bill come in. I like to see a Paul George package them somehow. But I think just we need somebody that complements Dame's game a little bit better than CJ because they're very similar.
We need a wing. We need a stretch wing that can play defense. Dame can do the drive and kick out. That can spread the floor. That can be a second ball handler to Dame. Like CJ, but someone who's tall and doesn't play defense in a tuxedo would really, I think, help out the team. In terms of coaches, I've been hearing this name like Jason Kidd. I don't want any big name. I want like a David Vanderpool would be a great one.
I was thinking David Vanderpool because he already has the rapport in Portland.
Dame loves the guy. He's been preaching about the guy getting a job. Even a Kenny Atkinson.
Oh, yeah, Kenny Atkinson is a solid coach.
Kenny Atkinson, if you look at his rapport, dude, that guy has coached and played all around the world. He deserves to be a head coach. Yeah. You saw what he did with the Nets. Yeah. He brought in new techniques. He made D'Lo a star. Look at D'Lo after Kenny Atkinson. Yeah. I think Kenny Atkinson is really underrated in the league. And then you got a couple other assistants around the league I think that really deserve a shout. But I don't want any Jason Kidds. I don't want any actually one big name I've heard thrown around that would be really cool. Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey Billups with Dame.
I think Chauncey Billups with Dame would be a really good combo. Chauncey's the type of guy I think young guys really respect because they got to see the tail end of his career. So I think he's a guy that would listen and would. If you look at Terry, the one knock on Terry, not just his defense, his player development has been really piss poor. Yeah. Over his last 9 seasons, he's developed Dame. He was forced to develop CJ because Wes Matthews couldn't play, left the team. So he was dealt his hand with CJ. CJ was
Gary Trent Jr.
Gary Trent Jr. had flashes, but Terry never gave him consistency. Yeah. We saw how he played on the Raptors. And then you had busts like Myers Leonard. I don't want to call Zach Collins a bust yet because of injuries. But even when he's played, it's not been groundbreaking.
Yeah, he can't play like he can't stay on the floor. Honestly, let's just say hypothetically, Dame and CJ are together still next year. I wouldn't mind seeing Sabonis get traded for like Nurk. Again, you have to make that package look pretty, but I would love to see Sabonis here. He can really stretch the floor, but also depending on Stocks is going because you need defensive mind. Exactly. So I would love Sabonis. I don't know if we can get Sabonis for Nurkic. A guy I was thinking we could package because he's coming off a bad injury, Jonathan Isaac, coming off his ACL tear. Isaac, he's not a big enough, not really name per se, but he's not a big enough star for me. What about Miles Turner? I think that would be solid. But again, defensively, yes, I still think Nurkic over Miles Turner, center for center. I think Nurkic is more skilled. He's slow. If you look at Nurkic, the guy can barely run nowadays, which is weird to think because he's way thinner now than he was before the injury. But I really like Jonathan Isaac, and I think that's the type of player we need. I know he's not a big enough name, but I think we can capitalize on the fact that he's coming off an injury. He's coming off his rookie contract soon. He's really a guy that I think we need in terms of perimeter defense, interior defense, outside shooting. He's like a 6'11" freak of nature. But he wouldn't. I think you keep Nurk in the mix if you got Isaac because he is so young. Yeah. Look at where Dame is at. Dame is 30 years old. Yeah, that's fair. We have to be in a win now mode. I don't think Isaac is a championship move. But again, maybe neither is Turner or Sabonis. But what do you think? Should we re-sign Norman Powell? Should that be a priority? That should be a priority. But you think we should? You have to move CJ though. You have to move CJ because he's just like CJ. I think if you give him the ball as much as CJ, he's more athletic. If you watch him defensively, they're kind of the same. They're not the best defenders, but they're undersized shooting guards. Even Powell's forced sometimes to play that small forward. Yeah. I like Norman Powell a bunch, but he's also like 28 now. If you look at it. Yeah.
Well, wow. I actually had funny things to interrupt, but I just wanted to hear
real basketball IQ here.
Wow. Well, that's what you call it. Well, folks, this is
no bandwagon over here.
This is where hopes and dreams go to die. This is where they live. They live talking about all these things.
That never happened.
Wow. So how does it feel that knowing your lifetime, you will be in the grave in heaven, talking about, remember when we were alive and y'all didn't see the Trailblazers win? We could see them in heaven. But we can't see them in real life.
Portland win a championship in my lifetime. I strongly believe.
If the Toronto Raptors could win a championship with Kyle Lowry as their second best player,
who do they have?
Fred Van.
Who do they have?
Kawhi Leonard.
Okay,
big deal.
Who's coming here?
Tell me, is Kawhi better than Damian Lillard right now?
Yes.
I don't think so.
So he's a two-way point guard. Okay.
No.
All right.
But did you see Kawhi last night?
Okay, Kawhi's lazy.
Did you see Kawhi against the whole Maverick series?
Look here, man.
Dude, he's getting completely outclassed by 22.
He faked the whole injury for 1 year in San Antonio. There's no telling what he's up to now. He's a mastermind.
Kawhi's coming to Portland.
Watch PG come to Portland.
I wouldn't mind. I would love PG in Portland.
You like PG in Portland?
After all the slander I know you say that.
No, I've never slandered Paul George. I've always said Paul George was never a top 10 player ever in the NBA. I never thought he was in Indiana, but he's definitely top 15. But I digress. I know that there was another basketball topic that you wanted to get to that involved relationships.
Not at the moment.
Am I jumping the proverbial gun?
You are, but this is why I love this guy. This is why I love this guy. We're gonna need this energy because, you know, me and Koss talked about like the new flow and things like that. We wanted to introduce the new flow to you because we definitely want you to be like, you know, whenever we're at the bar or this other location I'm working at currently as well, when and if you're on, we want you to feel comfortable to like take the lead as well when it comes to certain things. And I think before we dive back into basketball, I think what we should definitely talk about before we get back into basketball is the Naomi Osaka piece. What do you call it? So, since you brought this up to me, would you like to explain what's going on with Miss
Yeah, sure.
Naomi
So
Osaka?
if you know, Naomi Osaka is, correct me if I'm wrong, two-time major winner.
Yes.
Two-time major winner. Up and coming, really cool athlete. If you look at her, she is half Japanese, half African American, I believe. No. So she's Afro-Japanese.
American.
There we go.
You know what? I'm not gonna fuck with you. Go ahead.
I thought her dad was American.
No, I think he's. I don't know.
I think her mom's Japanese.
I'm not gonna go. Yeah, just go. Yeah.
Okay. She's the face of Nike tennis currently. She's kind of taking the place of Serena if you look at it marketing-wise.
Yeah.
She actually was the highest-earning female athlete last year in the world, and she just withdrew from the French Open because she missed a couple press conferences. I think the tennis association didn't like that. They fined her $15,000, and then she decided to pull out of the tournament for mental health reasons. Apparently, she's dealing with some stuff mentally. She's mentioned, I believe, that she's always kind of had like anxiety and mild forms of like depression here and there, like I feel like most people in the world deal with. And yeah, this was something I mentioned to you that you wanted us to bring up. Because, you know, as we go on year by year, I feel like more athletes are coming out and speaking about mental health, whether it was Kevin Love, whether it was
DeMar
DeRozan as well. And then in the NFL, who was it? It was...
I mean, let's go to all of them.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
Dak Prescott, yes.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, kind of your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, I kind of just wanted to start it off a little bit controversial because when I very first heard this piece, my first initial thought, and you know, I feel like I've been blessed to grow up in the 90s where like, you know, you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but also learning that, you know, that's not the only way to do something like that. And like one of the major things is when you don't have enough information, you go searching and seeking it out. And I feel like every time anyone wants like a mental health type of thing, it's a contextual thing. You just can't be like, oh, this person's not just crying because, you know, they just don't want to do it because it's a part of your job. Because my initial thoughts just hearing about it, I'm like, all right, you know, I get, you know, she's, you know, depressed and things like that. But even working with people with depression, after you get to a stabilized position and point, you still have to work through because you can't because the world doesn't stop and the world is not going to care about you and things like that. So when I researched and got more information, I'm like, this girl, this kid, she handled that glowing. And the reason why I feel like she handled that glowingly is, you know, she's like, I don't want to take away from tennis. And right off the back right there, that let me know that this is not one of those people taking advantage of mental health. He's like, one, I'm not feeling the greatest. If I still compete, people will not talk about the game of tennis. They're going to talk about this stuff. And then she's like, you know what? I'm going to eat the fine. I apologize to the press. And then I'm going to hit me at the next majors. And they still found fault in that. And that's a person taking accountability and ownership. She's like, oh, I know I should have done that. And that to me is like, all right, she gets it. And then on top of that, she's kind of like, but I still got to look out for me. So it's kind of like, when she did that for me, I feel like she made the best decision she could for herself, because everyone tries to make the right decision. And the thing is, you can't appease everybody. And that's the one thing I appreciate, that even though I feel like, she tried to please everyone, but she put herself before everyone else. She just went down that list. So I applaud that, that young girl for doing that, and thinking about the other players who, like, if I compete, they're not going to care anything else about what I can say. It's about tennis. It's about us. It's about the sport. So I really appreciate that, and I definitely hope she gets her, her rest and she gets her mind right. I do have one more bit about it, but I guess I kind of want to swing it to you, Jamal. How did you take that?
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with her stepping away from the game due to a mental health reason. I mean, I know mental health has a huge stigma around it still, especially in the Black community. So, I mean, the context of her being a minority, I think, is important to mention, because I think the minority community is still so new to us. We think of it like, oh, you're crazy, oh, you're on medicine. And someone that deals with their own mental health struggle, as far as like dealing with anxiety, I mean, I can totally see where she's coming from. Like, there's days where I'm like, I just don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to move. I don't want to talk to anybody. So I'm going to call out of work. Now, the flip side of it is the media drives me crazy sometimes, to be honest. I mean, when Kyrie said, I don't want to talk to pawns, I understood the energy of that. Yes, was it wrong verbiage? I'm totally aware that the verbiage was wrong, but the media has like a sense of like, you owe me something. I'm trying to do my job, and you have to talk to me. Yeah, contractually they have to talk.
Yeah.
But in a sense, it's like, if someone's not feeling well, be a human first. Don't worry about just doing your job. Talk to the other players, because at the end of the day, yes, she's the number one player. She's not there, but they don't owe you anything ultimately. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a luxury you have that job, number one. And number two, the luxury they are taking time out of their day to do this, because, like Marshawn Lynch, like, is that really a productive interview? Like, when he's saying, you know why I'm here? Like, and now he's going to write a story and bash him. So at the end of the day, it's always a lose-lose situation. And if she went to play, what they're going to do is try to villainize her mental health. And let's say she played and lost, and they're going to villainize her. Oh, are you okay? Are you this or that? It's like, you shouldn't be asking people questions like that. Like, oh, how's your mental health doing? Did it affect you when you're playing? To me, that's like very personal. So why do you want to try to highlight the quote-unquote negative and buy into the stigma of mental health issues? So I'm saying all that to say, context matters ultimately, and the media has to stop acting like the players owe them something, and that they know these players personally, because they really don't. So just kind of back off and fight the bulls.
Anywho, lots of flies in here today. Anywho, I'm so glad you brought up Marshawn Lynch, because I was going to bring up, that's one of my 2 points I want to bring up, because I just like how he masterly did it, because he's like, all right, bet, it's in my contract. All right, I'm here so I don't get fined. One, it was hilarious, and two, he's like, I did what I need to do. And then later on in his career, when he could control more of his narrative, then he spoke. And then the video's like, oh, we love you, type of thing. And my thing is, like, I guess I just get like really cynical, where like I get it, where like there's parts of like things you have to do because it's contract, and then like other things where it's kind of like little loopholes. And that's why I put Marshawn Lynch like he's so shrewd. He's like, you can't find me. I say what I need to say, because in my opinion, didn't those interviews get over like 2-3 minutes? Because they're like, all right, that's all he's gonna say, and then he left, and he's like, bet. And then when he felt like he wanted to talk, he talked. Yeah. And that's one of the things I appreciated that, and I just like, people are gonna do different things, but like that is like one of the things that like I appreciate that you bringing up. That means that that there's multiple ways to get to an outcome, and I appreciate how she did it, because it just shows the grace. And I just wanted to highlight a bit of what you were talking about, because I agree with you as well with the whole Marshawn thing.
Now, I do understand that those are different situations, though, too. You know, he's not doing, well, to my knowledge, it wasn't really a mental health thing, but if it's like contractually, I have to do this, okay, I'll do it. But I think the main point of that was controlling the narrative. She tried to even spin the narrative in the most positive way possible. But I do think it's because, you know, tennis is still technically a white-dominated sport. The number one person for the past, number one people for the past, you know, X amount of years have been Serena one. They try to pick her apart while her looks. You can't talk about her on the tennis court. So you try to bring up her looks. And then Naomi Osaka is also a person of color at the end of the day. You know, no matter if she's black or not, I mean, she looks black, so you're going to call her black. And with her stepping out and being brave enough to say what she said and do what she did, I mean, they still try to pick her apart and still be angry. So even when you try to control your narrative in a positive way, the media can still spin it however they want. I'm going to loosely quote Malcolm X because this is very telling. You know, the media can make an innocent man guilty and a guilty man innocent. And I live by that. You know?
All right. Yeah, very true.
That's a really good point. What it makes me think about is I use my UFC mind here. I think as a big UFC guys. I dabble. So Joe Rogan actually. What? Joe Rogan is a commentator for the UFC. Interviews the fighters post-fight, and he went to the UFC and said, "Hey, we should be interviewing guys who get knocked out, or guys or female women that get knocked out because they're not in the right state of mind. You know, they shouldn't be forced to say something on a microphone that's going to be recorded and replayed over and over again when they're just coming off, their brain pretty much shutting off."
Was it women in particular, or
no, men or women? Just any fighter that gets knocked out. He said we should not be right after the fight interview anyone that gets knocked out for those reasons. So just interviewing the winner, going forward. And if the person who did lose, get knocked out, did want to speak, they can do so, but it won't be forced upon them.
Yeah, I mean, take the model of NBA, NFL, all of the sports. You don't interview the loser until they get to the press conference. You know, so why interview them in the octagon? I don't understand that. Plus, he just got knocked out too. So, what can you really say? Gonna come back harder? Yeah. So cliche. No pause. No, we are protecting our masculinity, whatever masculinity means to you. No pause. Come back harder. I like that. No pause.
I'm letting this happen. Yeah. I'm gonna say you, Costco. I love you. Okay. I just wanted to put a little spin on this. I think, even though I know this is totally separate, Osaka didn't have these anxiety problems until she beat Serena, and I feel like,
that spotlight gets bigger.
Wait, let me finish. How Serena lost, I feel like that played a whole lot of her wearing her headphones and like that, because I was live watching that game, and like as a tennis player, like just me, shut the fuck up, and like it's like the mental. It's kind of like, and I know if I remember correctly, Serena said she was a little hurt or some other stuff, and she was coming off having a kid. She knows she didn't play her best game, and then like how she reacted to the loss. And like that's your idol. That's like me playing against Kevin Durant and him being like, "All right, bitch ass." Every time I'm like, "This is great." Kevin, I beat you with like a game of horse. Like, let me just have it. Like, come on. And like I feel like that.
But that's Serena. She would never let anyone have it.
But she's the dog. Not like she's good. She's like really good. Let me stop that. Let me stop that. So I'm just saying, it's kind of like, I also definitely think that kind of affected her a little bit too. Like one of her idols, she's playing on the highest stage.
What happened? So Osaka beat Serena, then Serena got mad or what?
Yeah.
I don't know if she got that mad. Again, I think it's a media thing to kind of inflate it. No.
How did she react? So I'm not aware.
To me, some of her like mannerisms and like body language and some of the words she said was very passive aggressive in my opinion. And I'm kind of like I understand you just lost, but and you're coming off from having I don't know the experience of having a kid. We don't know the battle Serena's going through with that postpartum. Just about to bring that up. But like I know the Serena who lost matches before, she's been like, bet, good job, girl, you did it. But like she wasn't like that. She was visibly like I'm like, come on.
Like, it was kind of like you didn't beat me, I beat myself.
Exactly.
Well, maybe just Father Time. Father Time was
Also,
defeated.
She's almost 40.
And she probably realized, like, she probably internalized, like, I lost because of X, Y, and Z reason. But in all reality, I didn't watch, I don't know. But I just got beat, you know? So I just lost.
At some point, you know what to do here, but your body can't do the same.
Exactly. I mean,
And that's the first one.
another example, when you're the top dog, LeBron James, when you start declining a little bit, lights get
Like
brighter and brighter. LeBron's declining. He's 30
What'd you say?
years old.
You said again? LeBron's what?
He's on decline.
Put that on a reel and roll it back.
Look, no, LeBron already admitted it. He said, "Yeah, I'm declining right now." Okay. He said in HBO The Shop documentary. He said when you're up here, he's slowly going down, but he's not a sharp decline. Just come down a little bit.
He's declining too.
Man, like,
He's like 34.
He's like a cyborg. Really, we never met him here. Never in my life.
Father Time is undefeated. I guess to put a bow in his conversation with Serena, Father Time again. Father Time undefeated. Simple as that. So I can't really say. I think she recognizes it.
Is Naomi Osaka still dating YMB Munir?
Yes, she is.
She is?
No, she's dating Corday.
That's
YMB, sorry, my bad. Corday, not Amir.
I know what you were saying. Like I
can't keep track of these guys.
Hey, me either. Yeah, he's, do you know what that stands for?
No idea.
Okay. No, I'm done doing these tasteless things to you, Cos. One second. I'm done doing these tasteless things to you. All right. Oh, we are good. I'll just cut that out. All right. So, we're going to...
Oh, my God.
No. Are we losing?
Like 2 or 5 minutes.
How we been keep this? So,
break and watch the game.
Since we'll finish this up because we're almost ready for our next commercial.
Yeah.
NBA. So we're just shifting gears from like talking about mental health and things like that. Man, what's going on with our fans lately? We got people going popcorn. We got people going water bottles.
You guys does it bother you?
Hell yeah!
I find it so entertaining.
I don't think this is entertaining, but they got the reaction they want out of, no offense, people like you that find it entertaining. Like, this is not entertaining at all to me. This is very, I think it's like some racial undertones mixed with mental health things going on. I think people were cooped up in their house for way too long.
Yeah.
And it's like, they have like a sense of entitlement. I'm at this game now. I'm not going to wear my mask anymore. I'm just going to throw things at you. I'm going to spit on you. If somebody spit on me, bro, that is literally like saying you don't respect me as a human being. So to spit on somebody, that's like literally like probably the most disrespectful thing you can do without actually like physically harming somebody to me. I don't find that funny, hilarious at all. I think it's very degrading. And again, I think there's some racial undertones to this too, because if you look at NBA arenas, it's full of white people watching black men play a sport. And they have the mentality of, shut up and dribble, entertain me. I don't want to hear your voice and entertain me. That's a lot of racial undertones to it. So it bothers me to no end, honestly, and I'm not going to find anything like that funny. Okay, running on the court, yeah, I can get a chuckle like that, haha. But if you throw a water bottle at me, and Kyrie already said it, like, I want to play basketball, I don't want any subtle racism going on. And Danny ain't talking about that, didn't say in Boston of all places. Our players never experienced any racism. You're in Boston. I've never been to Boston, but I can only imagine how many N-words they've thrown at them at the opposing team. So I digress.
What's on topic? Well, what's the guy's name who played for Boston so many years?
There's a lot of jobs.
The old one who didn't come back for his ring ceremony. Like he went to the Hall of Fame.
Bill Russell.
There we go, Bill Russell. He never came back.
That's fair.
I'm curious. Yeah, go ahead.
I think fans running on the court is annoying because that stops play. I think that's annoying when you have to stop play, when all this stuff, and it's not that funny to me. I'll be honest, when that guy spit on Trey, that was so New York. But like, you got to think, this was in MSG. They haven't seen the Knicks in over a year. They haven't seen the Knicks in the playoffs in 8 years. I'm not gonna say I'm nowhere near saying it was the right thing to do. or you should spit on people. It's disgusting. But when I saw that, I said, of course it's in New York, and I had a chuckle to myself. I was like, this is so New York. And then the guy throwing the water bottle, the stupid thing. I don't know why you throw a water bottle at people, like all this stuff. I will say the guy got charged with assault of a dangerous weapon. Well,
I'm not mad at that. I think they really should be going harder than saying, no, you can never come to a game again. Mm-hmm. That's a slap on the wrist at the end of the day. Like,
no, that's fair.
These people are at work. Imagine you're at work making a sales call and somebody just says, well, not said, like they legit throw a water bottle at you while you're working. Yeah. Or while you're getting up from your break, getting up from your desk to do something. Mm-hmm. You're going to be mad, right?
No, and either way, I think watching a game at home is better than in the arena. That might be a hot take, but
I honestly prefer being at home too.
It's just you get better camera angles. I don't want to be around sweaty people for 2 hours. But nonetheless, that's just like a side thing. But
okay, guys. So constant. Yeah. If I was at your office and that happened to you, I probably would laugh, but I hope you would handle the situation because
this is what I take it. I throw it back at you. We'll have a big chuckle and we forget about it.
But look at that. If Kyrie picked the water bottle and threw it back at the person,
then Kyrie gets a suspension. Kyrie gets a fine and gets a runner test. You're attacking the fans, and that is then yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna just be controversial. I'm just gonna say we should just let a player get somebody. Just let him snap him up, and he has
absolutely. I'm in favor.
He has no consequences.
But look, the law doesn't say that though, because the moment Kyrie touches that person is now a millionaire because he's gonna sue Kyrie Irving or anybody else.
I understand, and that is just like my dream because I feel like a lot of people you can tell them things, but I can show you better than I can tell you. Because don't get me wrong, and I'll just use my example for LeBron James. Not a fan, off court LeBron, he's good for the community. But if I'm sitting courtside, I'm going to heckle LeBron. But as a heckler, I know there's like certain limits I'm going to go. One, I'm not going to talk about his family. One, I'm not going to talk about his wife. I'm going to talk about his play. I'm not going to talk about his wife.
Heckling and throwing something are way too
different. Let me finish. And all I'm saying is because when we go to sports, when we go to movies, it's taking our mind off these things. And then people get this possessive thing. And that's where it's so easy. Let's just say for someone who's, let's say, Democratic, someone who's Republican, they can go and sit in a room and be like, oh, yeah, we bleed Blazer blood. Oh, you like the Blazers? And they forget about all these different things because in the human mind, it's so easy to be, it's us versus them type of thing. Yeah. And then when we mix in our own regular society, us versus them, there's no rules of engagement. People are still, there's no safe zones. People are still going for people. So, when it comes to sports, I feel like people bring that energy where I'm like, all right, I'm putting all that energy toward that person. Now I'm in the sports arena. Oh, here comes Kyrie. Oh, F Kyrie. He did this to me. And then because they have no self-control, they're like, and they feel so possessive because they're like, I'm a Celtic. I believe this. I paid this money. Then you're like, because there's probably other people. I bet you right now, and you guys may or may or not agree with me, but I bet you there's some people around that hype them up for doing it. Like, oh yeah, you're so cool. Oh yeah. Because it's pack mentality stuff. Because if we were all in the game and I do something at Damian Lillard, you guys look at me like, it's great. You're like, what the fuck are you doing? You're like, what the fuck are you doing, Rob? Yeah. Type of thing. So I just think it's I don't know, I guess I'm gonna be honest, I think more so at a basketball game, I'm butchering it, but it's called the bystander effect. I'm more adept to let the bystander effect for me at a basketball game go, but out on the street and something like that happened, I was like, all right, I'm gonna intervene to see what's going on because I don't know. It's just I don't know what it looks like just in arenas, but I just feel more uncomfortable intervening in an arena because there's so many different things that can go on. I know you guys talk about anxiety and things like that. For me, I always think about when I go to a movie theater, where are my 3 exits? If somebody comes in, I can duck, tuck, roll. If I'm with somebody, we can go out this way. But at an arena like that, me trying to de-escalate the situation, there's too many things that can happen. So I would freeze, all right, I'm not gonna say and do anything because there's too many things. And I hope something somebody will do the right thing, and that's just keeping it 100%.
I think it's disrespectful, no matter
how you
slice it. That's foul. You should never do that.
Yeah. And it's like sense of entitlement and ownership when it comes to our sports team.
Do you think it's going to continue?
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, again, I think it goes back to the media playing a huge part in all of this. They show it on TV. You can get Instagram famous and all that stuff. That was me. They did that. So I mean, once you cut the head off a snake, the body will fall.
So what should the NBA do?
The NBA should be charging these people,
even if
with simple assault or something.
Okay, so another example, bring up Trae Young. Trae Young's like, I'm not pressing charges. Like, do you look at Trae Young differently because he's not doing that? Or like, because Trae Young...
And to me, it shouldn't be on Trae Young. Yeah, it was directed at him. Mm-hmm. But I think the actual woman I was sitting with 50 Cent was actually hit by the spit, not Trae Young. Because she hides that. Because she felt the spit. So that should be on the NBA, the arena to press charges, not Trae Young. So I think they are misguided. Hey, I don't know the law, but I'm just saying that I believe that it's directed at the wrong person and trying to have a black person come up with a solution again. So
fair. Well, all right. Coffee, you have any thoughts on this one?
I hope it doesn't continue, but if it does, I'll probably chuckle at it here and there. Come on, if I see it on Twitter, I'll chuckle. I'm being honest.
Hey, my defense mechanism to things is I always laugh when like someone wants to fight me. I should start laughing. I'm like, you trying to fight me? But I really beat the hell out of you, type of thing. Where like I always like chuckle as a humor. So I always try to find the humor in certain stuff because that's just how I am. But no, hearing Jamal, obviously, it's definitely disgusting. Hopefully the NBA, I hear what you're saying, whether a player charges them or not, they should follow suit. And then, New York has rats. And sometimes they're human size.
I just think, I think of in a soccer world, because I keep up a lot with soccer, this happens a lot where people throw stuff on the field. Not as serious of a thing, but like, for example, Luis Figo in the early 2000s played for Barcelona, then went to Real Madrid. That's a big no-no. That's like playing for the Clippers and the Lakers, but way worse. So while he was taking a corner, someone threw a pig's head at it, and it landed on the ground to show that he was a traitor. And now it's an infamous photo of him, like as he's taking a corner right next to the pig's head. Yeah, it's actually a pretty fire photo because he just didn't even acknowledge it.
All right. Well, our American sports won't never see that. But they won't get into
Spanish stuff right there.
They won't get into the arena with that.
They will not. Oh well, actually, you know what?
Nah,
I think you get anything.
But this is the perfect time for us to break for commercial.
Yes.
So, if you made this far in the video, I just wanted to give another shameless plug to the Play No Games podcast. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and Anchor. And you know what? My co-host pushed the button I really want you all to hear. And do not push it. Oh my gosh. But I would definitely love for you guys to hear all these special clips that I have lined up and saved up for all of you. But I can't do it without your help. And if you would definitely donate to my lovely, lovely podcast, hopefully at this time I'll have the graphics, but my Cash App, $ Hero Rob, everything lowercase. Please. I'm not going to use it for myself. I'm going to help pay costs. See, got my haircut. We'll get some headphones so we can hear all these lovely things. Like Jamal saying some pretty funny things. I will want to play this clip that says, how bad are you? But we can't hear it because I don't have the funds. So with all that being said, I definitely want to let you guys know $, Hero Rob for all the monies and funnies. And then another shameless plug, we have another podcaster, and this is the time where he's shamelessly plugging stuff.
Macky's Superior World on Instagram, posting almost every other day. Follow me.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. And he has a Cash App, and his Cash App is $ Hero. But with all that being said, we're gonna move on to our next segment, and Cox, would you like to lead us in our newest segment?
If I remember the question.
Jesus Christ.
It's
It's our Lord and Savior. Do you remember?
JayMac. Robert told me to ask you this question.
What?
And I'm complete. This is a new format we're going with. I believe I remember the question.
Oh, fuck, I forgot. We talked about the way, right?
We didn't talk about long.
We'll circle back.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense. It makes sense.
Something
Fine.
fine. How do you define love?
That's a great question. I'm not sure if you can define love in a black and white definition. I don't mean black and white the color. I mean it's like you make it be straightforward. Define love. I think love is more of a feeling rather than something I can describe in a sentence. So maybe I'm pandering right now, but I don't have an answer for you. I don't know how to define love. It's just more just of a feeling. Because like once you know, you know. That can also get confusing because I think people confuse love and lust. Lust is, well, you probably would know better than me.
Whoa! Wait, how dare you? That's what I'm gonna play the sound clip.
I mean, referring to in like a therapy, mental health terminology, like love versus lust. I'm not like saying your personal life.
Okay.
But I feel like you defined it probably better than I could. Yeah, I don't have a definition of love. I mean, if someone asks me how do I know I love my fiance, I can just give you feelings of why I know I love her.
Okay. I'm not. No, she probably never watched this. Not gonna say that. Okay. I'm not gonna give you the scenario.
You can say it.
Yeah, no, I like my relationship. Anywho,
I want to know now.
Nah, this is not. It's not the time. Trust me. So great. So the reason why we kind of wanted to know that a little bit of like where you're coming from is we definitely have a lot more topics about like love, lust and all those different things. And I think for viewers, it'd be really good for people to know where people are coming from when we speak with them, because we usually talk about certain things, and then it's really good because they know where I'm coming from stuff. They know things where Fox coming from. So it's kind of like, when we have people on, we want to know exactly where they're coming from with certain things.
And this was a question we talked about last time as well, when we know both of our perspectives.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's really hard for me to define it because it's just not that simple. I mean, I know I just totally kind of ignored your question, didn't answer it, but it's hard to really define what love is. I think it's more of just a feeling that once you know, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I'm, it's not even saying you or anything like that. I feel like the answer you gave was like honest, because we want you to be honest, and like that is a fair answer, because I think a lot of people, as I stare at my video game characters on my laptop and things like that, people just have this fairy tale version of what love is, and there's so many things within love, accountability. There's accountability. Yeah, damn fucking right. We're gonna watch the clip one of these days.
Yeah. Says a lot.
Whoa!
That's just
So Jamal has said, I'm for the streets. I really can't read. I'm coming for this nigga.
There's one more thing he has to say, and I think he knows what he has to say.
He already called me. Anyway, you know what? I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there today. Anywho, because I already got other videos where I slander you. Anywho, so no, that kind of like ropes us to this question more. Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, whatever their union,
Union.
There we go. We're on like some podcasting show, and
was it on Macky's World?
Yeah,
might have been.
You know what? It had to be some, some tall guy. Very glad I like you. So, he was on this podcast, and this is what the media does. It was a catch-all. It was like Dwayne Wade doesn't lead in his marriage, right? Type of thing. And I watched the little clip, and it's exactly what it says. It's exactly what he said. He's like, Gabriel Union does it all. I don't do anything.
Yeah.
And before I give my take, I just want to say this one more time because I have a guy who's on the way to jump in the broom and then whoa. So I guess when you hear another guy saying in a marriage saying that I don't lead, I let my wife do whatever she wants, or I don't lead, I let my wife lead. I'll start over here first. How's that come off to you?
It's fine. I think there has to be a give and a go.
No, he's like, my wife, whatever my wife says, I do. He co-signed it. How do you feel about that? Don't cost it. That's it. We're working on what he said.
Then in that case, I tell you exactly what I told you over text message.
Oh yes, let's get spicy. Let's get canceled.
Seems like Wayne likes to get pegged.
Let's get canceled. He's the Wayne fan. This is great.
That's what I said. I don't know. Wayne since he retired has been a little strange.
Woo!
Dude, he dyed his hair. Now he's doing that stupid game show on TNT.
Come on, he gotta get money.
Yes, dude, that thing looks
terrible. That's just hate.
No, he could do other stuff. It just like Dwayne Wade, the game show host. Like it just maybe like 2005 thing.
Honestly, we have to respect men and their sexual kinks too. If he likes it.
If you like it, you like it.
I love this dynamic. This is what I play for.
But for me personally, no, that's not my cup of tea, or I've never been in that situation. So
you got to be a taker. That's all I'm saying.
But I think that I think we have to define what the word "lead" quote unquote means. Like, what does it mean by
like you like LeBron lead?
Because I think there are different levels to leading. Because I tell my fiance, I'm like, whatever, she quote unquote leads the relationship as well too. It kind of goes to a happy wife, happy life context. So it's like, let's say we're eating out for dinner, and I'm like, let's go here, knowing she don't want to go there. I'm just kind of like. What's that?
Why? What was word for me? Continue.
Okay, what was that?
Happy wife, happy life.
I put it in a happy wife, happy life
Eating
context, like sexual kink.
That's what's positive.
They're bonding. I love it.
Okay, so say we're going to eat somewhere, and I'm like, hey, let's go to Raising Cane's, not sponsored. And she's like, no, I don't want that. But I know deep down she wants to try this place. I'm going to say it last because I'm going to push my boundaries because I know that at the end of the day I want her to be happy rather than myself. Like, I can make do. I can pick out something from the menu relatively easy and be cool with that. So we're looking at a context like that. It works. Now, let's say you're in an argument. For me, it's like I want to just get the convo over with and let's keep pushing. But for her, she wants to, take a step back, think about it for a little bit, then come back and talk it out. For me, it's like I don't want to do that. So it's compromising. So I think leading in a way, in his context, could have been misconstrued of what he meant because I think that we are inferring what he meant by leading. So I'm a big proponent of context matters, choosing your words with purpose and carefully, rather than just saying something that's open to interpretation. So, I'm living in therapy way too much. But for real though, like, you have to be intentional about what you're saying, and saying something so vague on the internet can definitely stir up a lot of things, So,
especially they're uber rich and famous, so we don't even know what their life looks like. Like it says when she leaves, like she decides, maybe it was Gabby's decision to make him that host of that terrible show. Or because she has connections in Hollywood. She's like, hey, Dwayne, I can get you into here.
Don't ever say that.
What do you think she D-Wade?
She says Wade, probably.
But you know, it could really be anything. Like, hey, our next house is going to be in this beach town, or we're going to live here next, and we're going to do this and that. So I think it can be. Their lifestyle is different than ours. You know, how you decide where you're going to eat out, may not be deciding what plane to buy, or yeah.
And this is where I come in, and I would press the sound clip, and it was like, "You fell for my trap card." Ha ha ha. Jamal, definitely one. Over this break, I really put a mirror to a lot of things I believe and go with to like challenge myself to be a better human being, to be fair, because like as a therapist, I'd be very impartial on things like that. So I champion for women, I champion for men, I champion for the non-binary, I champion for all these people, because at the end of the day, I want people to be able to coexist. And actually, Jamal hit it right, the nail on the head about things in context and knowing that. But at the same time, like watching the video and things like that, he felt so comfortable with him just saying, like, "Oh, my wife just leaves and I don't do anything." And my thing is, from the narrative, that looks like, and I know it's not, and my thing is, I can take a look at myself. It's not on D-Way, but how it looks like is like he has no say. He's complicit, and it goes with the narrative, like you were saying, happy wife, happy life. I get that, but happy husband, happy life as well. And like I've seen an imbalance of that so much, where it's kind of like, if I say certain things in female culture where I'm like, this happens, I'll get demonetized. But if I say the same thing about a dude being a dog, I'll get praised for that. And my thing is, at first, because I have to walk you guys through this part, I'm like, oh, D-Wade's this, D-Wade's that, you know, laughing at the peg joke, all the other stuff, where it's kind of like, well, that, it's still funny. Thinking about it is, whoever listed this out, and even, I don't know, because it was only a clip I saw, I wasn't able to sit down and see the whole thing. I wasn't able to stitch together the whole context, but like from just what I'm getting at, if I'm a young man looking at that, oh, so nothing I want, it matters to the relationship, it does matter. And then it just spins into a narrative that guys don't get anything. I'm just tired of hearing and seeing that.
I do want to interject.
Go ahead.
My fiance absolutely hates that mindset of happy wife, happy life. So, me saying all of that was just from a one-sided point of view. It's like I see her now rolling her eyes like, I don't like that. It shouldn't be like that. It goes to the point of, men deserve, I wouldn't say more, quote unquote, but they deserve to be happy too, whatever happy means. Yeah. So, I mean, again, people have their own definition of leading happiness and all that stuff. So it is very important to actually define what that actually means. But for me, happy in my mind is, if she's happy, I'm happy for the most part. You know, if food's on the table, if we're vibing, I'm happy there. If I'm just at home chilling with her with the dog, I'm happy. So I mean, it doesn't take much to really please me. So yeah, I mean, it really depends on where you find happiness.
So can you please help us two single guys, because we're very radical. We're so single. How would everybody? Let me walk back. Cuss got women. Let me know. We call him Mo bitches over there. We don't know how many Mo he gonna get, guys. So I'll be walking back. You look at me like that. But I guess no. Now, I want to big up you, because you are on a journey that I know that me and Cost want to be on later.
You won the game.
You won the game, like
the game of life.
Where it's kind of like, I appreciate you, hearing, both our perspectives and things like that when it comes like that. So in that same context, because, you just, can't say her name. You just brought up what your wife is saying about, like, wanting there to be balance. What's one thing that, I would just say more recently, where you guys can, like, help us single people when we're dating, how to look for someone to have and preach that balance? Because I know if I go on first and second dates and things like that, I know female expectation is, all right, after date 2, or even not date 1, or date 2, or date 3, females are expecting, me to pay for everything. I don't know how you feel, like they expect all the different things, so it's kind of hard dating nowadays. So even though I know you're not in the dating game, I know you're around, other females. I know you're around your fiance's friends, things like that. What do you think single guys should know trying to date someone and trying to figure out if we can be fair and accommodating?
I think it's really being honest about your intentions. I think that's the biggest thing, honestly. Now, there's a balance between being too forward and too honest because you kind of, that's why dating, right? You kind of want to find out the different mysteries of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, being forthright is important, but to a certain extent. Now, date one, you probably shouldn't say how to get married, right away. Damn. That's probably not the best thing, but like, I would say number one, try to see if their values line up with your values. Because and also kind of find out her intention too, honestly. Like, I think a girl will respect the fact if you're like, you know what, hey, I know we're dating, I don't want to waste your time. Hey, I'm getting older, you're getting older. I don't want to, maybe that's not the right verbiage to use, but in that same vein, it's like, what are your intentions with me? Like, where do you see this going? I know it's only day 2, but I mean, you seem cool. I mean, you obviously think I'm cool to spend your time with me. So, I mean, where do you see this going realistically? Like, am I wasting my time? I don't want to waste your time because in life we only get, June 3rd, 2021 once, so really defining someone's intentions and being intentional about what you're saying and what you're doing. Because your actions always speak louder than words. You can say all the sweetest things in the world, have all the most game in the world, but if your actions don't back up what you're saying, then to her, you're just another F-boy trying to talk to her, And for a girl, I feel like dating is harder for them because they have to weed out so many F-boys. Like,
no, I'm gonna disagree with that. Dating for a woman is far more easy than considered.
I don't think so. Well, the women I talk to, they make it the hardest thing in the world because these dudes they're not being real about their intentions. I think that's where I'm coming from, hearing them talk about their intentions. But it's all about what type of kind of girl you're going for, too. I mean, I don't want to judge a girl based off her Instagram. I think that's unfair. But if all the energy she's putting out is, bikini pics and thirst traps and all that, you have to look at yourself and say, perception-wise, is that a girl I want to go for? Because the perception is she's this, she's that. In all reality, she could be the complete opposite. Yeah. But it's all about who do you want to align yourself with, because sometimes perception is dangerous in a way, because perception is not reality, to me at least. So I know I was going on a tangent about that and everything. I know women might kill me for saying something that, if you post Instagram pics, you're ratchet. I didn't say that at all. I'm just saying the perception can be bad.
Absolutely.
So.
And I thank you. The perception. But that's a whole different. I have a clip for that. I've been working on. Thank you. We should clap. Anyway, that was pretty good. No, and I think that's like a big thing, and I appreciate that. And I was wondering, Boss, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like we're prepared now?
Yeah, but I will disagree with you and agree with Robert that I think it is harder for guys to date than women.
But why?
Ooh, why? I think it goes so deep. But to just give you a really quick example, it's so hard to approach a woman now and be like honest about your feelings because that's not really what a lot of women want. They don't want a guy that's honest from the forefront. But then if you play them too much, you're playing them. And at the same time, you see a girl at a bar and you go buy her a drink, she's gonna laugh in your face, take the drink, go talk to her friends. She's there to spend time with her friends, right? Mm-hmm. But then they still want a guy that's gonna be forward and talk to them. So I think there's such a balance nowadays that's so hard to find, and that as well as like I myself as a single man am so careful about what I say or what I do when I am one-on-one with a woman because I think it's dangerous for us out there, and Robert can speak to this how we can find ourselves in these situations.
But
when we are made the villain.
This is where, to a certain extent, I do agree. I think it's hard for all genders. Let's say that all genders to date. It's called dating for a reason because I go fishing a lot. I'm going fishing to hopefully catch something, right?
Can I come?
I mean, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't know you love fishing.
No, I want to spend time with a friend.
Okay, if you want to fish, we can go fishing. I'm down with that. I love fishing.
Free fish weekend this weekend.
So I'm saying that to say, like, you have to keep throwing your pole out there. There's been like 3 sexual windows.
That was my bad.
But you have to keep throwing your pole out there so you can catch something. They do the same exact thing. Like, you're going to keep throwing your pole in the water. You're going to keep nibbling, and the worm's going to be gone. But it's like, it's the same thing. It's like, it's all about finding that girl that vibes with you. There's billions of people in the world, billions of people in Portland. And a lot of these girls want the relationship goals, but they don't know what it took to become that 100 like, 200 like fisher. And people don't want to actually do the work. Everyone's a boss, but someone's really working.
And thank you. And this is why I'm going to champion what Cost is saying. The reason why I'm going to champion what Cost is saying is because we'll just use Portland. I know 60% of the guys in Portland ain't smashing because females are smashing 10 to 20% of the dudes in here because they have choices when it comes to sex. Mm-hmm. Like, they are the gatekeepers for that.
Absolutely.
So my thing is,
it should be.
No, it is. And my thing is, and I'll just use my own self as a case study. And like I told you guys, I had to go through some cleansing for myself, where it's kind of like being a middle tier guy. We brought this up on our last show. It's a war on middle class guys. It's either
talking about like financially or like perceived status wise.
Status wise, both
on Instagram.
Oh, both. Where like
character.
If character, they fuck about character. Like, if I'm a bum working at McDonald's, I get no play. I'm invisible. But if I am, let's just say, I'm trying to think. If I know CJ McCollum and I look like I have that lifestyle, I'll get play. And it's kind of like the guys who are in the middle ground. And I'm not using myself. I'm using Cost. Middle income, entrepreneur, lots of potential. He's invisible to most guys. He's invisible to most females because there we go. It's Pride Month. There we go. He's invisible. And my thing is, the reason why I say it's so tough is because sometimes, and I definitely think it's like a 60-40 thing. I don't think it's that egregious, but like I feel like certain women don't know how to settle. And with the word settle is like a buzzword because I feel like guys. And it's not a bad thing for a guy to settle. I feel like guys know, like, I know what I have, even if they fuck it up or things like that. But I feel like a lot of chicks, like, let's just say a chick who's got a master's degree, she's not looking down. She's looking up. She's not, and let's just say the guy at the grocery store has everything she wants. 9 to 5, he has money. It's just like, I can't take you to Tulum. Just give me like 5 months. And that's not enough. And that's why I say dating is a little bit more harder for guys. But I don't want to ignore because I also.
It's all about what type of girl you're going for too, though, because I think you hit it right in the head too. It's like the status thing. Let's go by perception, right? Mm-hmm. Someone with 10,000 followers, booty pics up and down your gram is most likely going to go for a guy with the blue check, right? Because of the perceived status. Now, let's say you are a truly middle class guy.
Whoa!
Middle class Rob.
Not you in particular, it was you generalizing you. But if I hit it,
I'm high.
But I mean, the perception though.
Yeah.
How many followers on Instagram do you have?
I have 500.
See, the perception is you're middle class, and you're middle class guy on Instagram. You're not really flashy on Instagram, right? You don't have a bunch of filters on Instagram, right? So a girl with 10K followers is gonna look probably down to you because you only have 500. Because you can't match her status perception-wise, right?
Okay.
So, again, it goes back to perception. I think that's the overarching theme here is the perception on paper. Like when you meet that person, will they have substance to them? I don't know. Mm-hmm. But let's say a girl with 1,000 followers, is that technically middle class? I mean, it's really tough now. And
sorry to cut you off. It goes off what Cost is saying. We're approaching a girl. We're like, my approach game is mad different now. We're like,
Hi.
it's like oh, the chick's curve game is like ridiculous, and this is why I had to delete all my dating apps. I literally, me and the girl set up to go do something, and then literally 2 hours before, and like she's a regular chick type of thing, right? She said to me, she's like, "Oh, I'm going to Arizona. I don't know when I'm gonna be back."
I heard this over before.
Yeah,
damn, she hurt you, bro.
Shut the
She
fuck
hurt you hard, man.
Damn, bro, she hurt you.
Anyway, all I'm saying is there's stuff like that where it just lets guys like us, where like even approach it. If it's girls' night, you only have a small window, or it's almost kind of like I just feel like when a guy approaches a chick, they're always in defense mode. Yes. And like I get it, and I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing, but I get it. And it's almost like when you approach a girl, you gotta be witty and quick, like think about something. Like, oh, I'm trying to figure out what Lloyd Center is. Oh, can you tell me what Lloyd Center is? All right, bet. Also, you fine, girl. What's good? Because there are some creepy guys out there.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, it's still hard to approach chicks.
But how can a girl weed out those creepy guys? See, I think I would love to have a woman in this conversation. I've asked girls, like, what is the appropriate way for a guy to approach you? You want to answer that? Well, they don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Because they don't. It's just like if you ask them where they want to go eat.
Yeah,
they don't.
I mean, like,
because I don't think they want you to tell you how to do it. They want a guy to just take over, be smooth, be dominant. But every girl is different. What they classify as smooth. So it's like solving a puzzle that has no real.
In college, my freshman year, I would say, excuse me, do you have the time?
Oh God!
Something as simple as that. This was thinking 11 years ago.
Yes.
You know, so.
You use this on her?
No, not her.
Oh, okay. No, you know what I'm talking about. Your wife.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
Time is fuzzy, but
yes,
whatever. So I would say that. Did it work? Probably not. But it was funny though. It was an icebreaker. It's a way to break that ice with awkwardness because again, this thing. Excuse me, mom. Like, can I talk to you real quick? Like, no girl wants to hear that. I'm not saying you do that, Robert. Don't take all this personal.
Well, I'm not. What? I didn't say anything. I'm just being myself.
Your body language says it all.
Oh, my body language, all right. I know we've been had this body language. They let us know. Okay, I know, but never mind. I'm going down right away.
No, I'm just saying, like, women don't really know the right way to approach either. So, I mean, dang, maybe it's harder for guys today.
We've converted. Oh God.
What I wanted to talk about, mention.
Yeah.
Stuff. One, I think we'd all love to be like the guy that Serena Gomez just married.
Who the fuck is that?
Exactly. She married just average real estate guy the other week. Average. He has like a 5,000 followers.
You find her attractive?
Sorry, no, not Selena Gomez. Ariana Grande.
No.
Ariana Grande just married a real estate dude.
But he probably has money too.
Yeah.
Okay, money. I've looked at his stuff.
Dang, hella jealous.
No, I'm not jealous. I'm just looking at like, should I get into real estate now? Or like, what's going on here? And two, you mentioned how we don't want to settle as guys. But maybe a girl will come up and say, well, maybe they don't want to settle either. Maybe women feel like they're the ones.
I feel like guys do a better job at settling.
You guys do a better job of settling?
Yeah.
I feel like settling gets like a negative state.
Thank you.
It does.
Settling and fucking things up are two different things. Just want to point that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like, but that's not here or there. But because we have about like 10 more minutes, I want to bring up this last topic because I was going to make this a short clip, but I kind of want to bring my guys in on this one. And what I texted you both about is this thing called One Itis. And I felt attacked when I was listening to this because I don't know if any of you are familiar with Roommates podcast, Feast. No. He was talking about this, and the One Itis is, and this is a guy problem, where guys get fixated on one girl, and they build this dreamlike world with this one chick, and they follow this chick, and they make up all these different things, and
It's like stalking to me.
Jesus Christ. Oh my! Oh, okay. I'll still finish. And he called it the One Itis, how we get hung up, and
It's like a restraining order.
oh my God. Anywho, I resonate with that because, and
You're a stalker.
I'm a stalker. I am a registered stalker. I resonate with that because as a guy, I know early on in my career, and still as I get older, I know that like certain girls, I get fixated on, and I have that one itis where I'm like, it has to be her, and I was like, yo, I'm participating in this fucking Disney fucking shit, where I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be with this chick, like I gotta make her see it, like all this other bullshit. And I kind of wanted to bring this to all of us and see how this resonates with all of you. Do you feel like you're in the one itis at times? And then, well, you know, he's already been entrapped, but I'll just turn this way. But what do you feel about that?
Well,
you feel like that's crazy?
I feel like that's not very real life picture view to say something like that.
I call them the fake hitch, right?
I just wanted to get them on to say that, yeah.
Okay, no, we can
Sorry, but speaking, have I felt like that before? I'd say yeah, up until like maybe college, maybe or like until like my first real relationship in high school, where like I had a dream because like, you know, I grew up watching shows, animes, this type of stuff, where they like fantasize, you know, relationships and this type of stuff. So you always feel like it's gonna be that way. Especially when you like a girl, I think girls do the same thing with guys. You know, they like create this world with them in their head, and then as I've gotten older, I realized you can't do that. You're gonna fumble the ball doing that. You're gonna be nervous when you talk to them when you don't need to be. It's just weird. If you really, really think about it, it is weird.
It's a little weird when you say it out loud.
And when you say it out loud and you think about it, you're like, why am I like thinking about this person this way? I don't even know this person. Like it's the older I've gone, the more I've like de-fantasized that.
I have a question about the one itis. So it's like, do you know the person, or do you like in passing?
It's not like Tevin Campbell, we can talk. It's like you have like one interaction with this person, and then you take that and you run.
Oh, I've never done that before.
Really?
Or just sparingly, like it's like you have to see someone in your class that you talk to once in a while, but you see them regularly, or a coworker that works in a different department.
Because I was my mind kind of went to like you're talking to them, but it's not like official. Like you've been talking for like years and years, whatever. And then like you fantasize like you want more out of that person, but you don't get it. That's kind of where my mind went to rather than like you meet
wearing
them
someone's skin.
And like you're starstruck, like, oh wow, there they are. I see this vision of me and them holding hands on the beach. So no, I've never had that.
You know what? I'll be the real life hitch because the real life hitch lets you know his successes and all that other stuff in between. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep it above 50 with y'all. When Fees was talking about it, I was like, oh shit, I'll be doing that sometimes because at times you're kind of like, oh, it's just like what you're inundated with. I'm like, oh, I had a good couple of interactions with this person. Like, I'm gonna goofy movie, stand out of the crowd, it's all this bullshit to like, win this person over type of thing. And I feel like, excluding outlier A, outlier B, they don't do that. So we'll just say that. And for my guys who are really watching this, when we get those things, we can't do that because at the end of the day, that is just a recreation of like the, Disney movie type of thing where at the end of the day, like, JayMac and what fucking Cobb was saying, we got to vet these women and we have to, be rational in our thoughts. And like, I hope hearing this today, some of you start rethinking about how you're interacting because there's nothing wrong with wanting something more of someone. But if your thoughts turn into your actions turn into things where, I'm not doing these things. Well, I'm just kind of like, all right, looking at their page. So
you're saying it's a bad thing?
It's definitely a bad thing.
Yeah. You just wrapped around a lot. Be clear, just.
I cannot wait when you text me and you're fixated on a chick, and I'm gonna be like One Itis. I'm gonna get you, but that's the moral of the story of what I want to bring up with that, because like when I was listening to the podcast, because Fees is a pretty cool, dude, and one of my friends said, I reminded him of him because he's a well-off guy.
Whoa.
of course, like yeah, he got money, he's got they know all the other stuff. But all I'm saying is, I want to bring that up, talk with guys, even though they're you guys thought differently, kind of definitely brought some things to my attention, because I feel like a lot more guys do that. Because I hear guys saying this about females, and they're like, oh, you guys want this fairy tale thing too as well, but like guys want that as much as females. I kind of wanted to put a spotlight on that and like be reflective on my own self. Where I might there's a couple situations that caught the ball in the 20, ran some yards, and they're like, you're not actually running, you're thinking you're doing that. So I just wanted to just put that on the table. I feel like we do get hit with the one itis sometimes. We're like, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to get this chick, and you're not reading. She's just not that into you, and all the other bullshit.
No, I think like I said, I dealt a lot with that like throughout middle school and high school. But I feel like since I went to college,
I don't want to expose you. I do not want to expose you right now because whoa, Jesus, hey, he kissing at you. Sure.
No, I mean,
it's back.
It's okay. I mean, I would. Look, I would love kiss TV. It's not. Let me shut up.
I got see.
I'm trying to take away the stigma that men can't embrace each other.
Thank you. Exactly. See,
Robert
spin cycle.
I don't know what that is.
But Robert was a lot less comfortable with this stuff, but now
it's like a safe word or
something. But now, like, we should have seen what he texted me before I left for him.
That's totally fine. I was being hilarious.
Exactly.
I have no problem. All I'm saying is, since it's not a problem, just blow and get back. He blew you again, blow and get back.
What was that you, Robert?
No, definitely was Jamal.
I don't feel comfortable doing that just because
he's a married man.
I'm trying to normalize, being in break other, but I don't feel comfortable when you kiss that.
That's fine. He's a married man.
This is a marital thing. Repeat yourself. I know. Oh my God.
Why'd you call him the fake hitch? I want to know this.
Yeah.
Because we talked about this last episode too.
The origin of the fake hitch?
Yeah.
So that was what episode, I think it was, I forgot exactly why I said it. It was episode 10. I think it was maybe viewer's choice. I blurted it out.
Yeah.
It just flowed. It sounded good, honestly.
Wow, don't fuck up this Parker shit. Goddamn.
It sounded good. The fake hitch.
Well, the fake hitch got some shit coming out next week. After this will be released after this shit is dropped. So we'll see this.
Can we drop this in a timely manner?
Whoa!
No disrespect or saying about, but I want this to come out in the next couple weeks. So I feel like these topics are great and everything. Actually, say my podcast. This is yours.
You goddamn right. I was about to say, and this is when I push a button. How dare you? Because they come out. The reason why I waited for what don't worry about it. Because I do have to say something because I want to. Is because the topics we talk about, they age well. Don't worry about it. This stuff, people will still be talking about this in 3-4 months. It's just Dwayne Wade. We'll just say it's Ben Stiller this time. Okay?
Jesus.
Okay?
I'm just like, the NBA stuff we talked about is going to be outdated.
The Blazers suck. I mean, I got you. I'm editing.
Jamal, please check this for me.
It's over.
Yeah? You're kidding me.
Wait a second. I saved their life for it. They didn't have to watch David Lillard fall like a little chair. Wait a second. Hey, Katie, what's up? I ain't edited this shit out. This has been the Play No Games podcast. They are pissed. Hey, we're on Spotify podcast. Check out Jamal on. I'm not gonna butcher your shit. Check out Macky's World Jamal on iTunes, on Spotify, and as well on Anchor. His stuff will be in the subscription. Please check out Koss. I'll put his Instagram, and then I'm gonna let you know. It's been the real life hitch, and we're done.
Probably wonder if I think of you. Sorry, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, for the bag that I never had. Yeah, you probably mad right now. Yeah, I got a 2-piece now. Shit, I think they call them groupies now.